Good afternoon. Let's start the class. Nobody will join the class. Okay. Today, I think the previous classes was about the operators. Okay. What are the types of operators and how we use. Yeah, I explained with examples also. Now, today we will discuss about the conditional statements. Okay. What are the conditional statements in the Java and what are the different types of conditional statements, how we use. I will discuss in the today's class. Now, let's get into the 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Now, today's class is about the conditional statements. Now, what is a conditional statements? Conditional statements is nothing but I also previously explained about the ternary operator in the previous class. Ternary operator is in a shorthand of the if-else. Okay, which on the basis of the conditions, it will give the result. Okay, it will give the result. This is a ternary operator. It is shorthand of a if-else. So same as that, conditional statements are nothing but these statements are used to control the flow of the program based on certain conditions. Okay. Based on the certain conditions, you can control the flow of the program where to execute. Like this is also called as a decision making statements also. Okay, whether as they let the program to decide which block of the code to execute. Okay, you have in two blocks of a code. Before the two blocks of a code, you have a condition. Based on that condition, okay, you need to execute the one block of a code. See, in a real life example, if it's raining, okay, if it's raining, take an umbrella. Okay, if it's raining, based on the condition, like if it is raining or not, okay, if it's raining, take an umbrella. Just as for if you attend the class, you can do the program of a Java, or if you study well, you will pass the exam. So based on the conditions, the output will be there, like what type of a code or which type of a block of the code you want to execute. So it's based on this conditional statements. Conditional statements allow us allow us to control the flow of a program. Control the flow of a program. Now, based on certain conditions. Based on certain conditions, and this is also known as decision making statements. These are also called as decision making statements because as they let the program to decide which block of the code has to execute. In the programming also, similar decisions are handled using conditional statements. The conditional statements we have, which is nothing. First one is an if statement. First one is the if statement, and second one is if else statement. Second, if else statement, and if else if statement, if else if ladder. We will call it as a ladder of statement. Okay, and we have nested if. We have nested if statement, and finally we have switch statement. Okay, finally we have switch statement, and first we will discuss about the if statement. If statement is the simplest form of a decision making. Okay, it's the simplest form of let me write it out. Simplest form of decision making, like simplest form of a decision making. Executes a block of code only if the condition is true. Like what it actually does means it will execute the code only if the condition is true. So here the syntax will be we will write the if keyword and the condition in the bracket, and inside the condition we will write the statements or the block of an code. Okay, or the block of an code. This is a syntax for the if statement. What is the if statement? It is simple form of a decision making. Execute the code only if the if condition is true. Here the conditions, okay, here the whatever the condition is satisfies, which takes the result of the boolean, okay, it might be the true or it might be the false, but it takes only the validates only the boolean. So here if the condition satisfies, then only it will execute the block of this code. This is in a simple form of decision-making statements. That is nothing but if statement. Now, like see, let me share my this window. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Let me switch my words. Give a few seconds. Okay. In the meantime, let me explain about the if statements. Some more small example here itself till the Eclipse gets open. What is the example? Like, see, consider if you're you are eligible for vote or not. Okay, let me give you int age equals to, okay, integer age equals to some 20, and taking the integer data type, and by using the if, okay, by using the if statement, if age is greater than or equals to, which is nothing but an assign, okay, if age is greater than or equals to 18, then only if the age is above the 18 itself, then only it will print it out the then only it will print it out the eligible, you are eligible for the vote. Okay, I got eligible to vote. Okay, so this is an example for an if statement. Again, I think our Eclipse here. Now see here. Let me create one more basic program. Inside the basic program, let me create one class, and class we will set as an example condition, and I'm selecting the main class. Okay, here, see, let me remove this. I am giving an age, or if you want to take the age dynamic, what we need to do, we need to take the input from the user. So to take the input from the user, we need to import the scanner class. Dot scanner. Okay. Now, what we need to do after importing the class, we need to create the object of this class. How we do? We need to use a new keyword of the class. Okay. If we are taking this as standard input, so using system.in. Okay, now we need to ask the user to enter the age. To display the data to the user, we use a system.out.println. Okay, println, enter the age, enter the age to check whether you are eligible to vote or not. Okay, enter the age, vote or not. Okay, now what we will do, he will enter the data, and we need to store the data in integer a. By how we will take the data of the user? By using the object of scanner class input dot. Okay, next enter. So whatever the age he enters, it will stored in the age. Now we will use the if condition. Okay, if condition, like if statement. Okay, now if here in the condition, what is the condition? The age must be greater than or equals to 18. Whatever the age has to be, the age has to be above 18 or equals to the 18. Then we will tell him as system dot out dot print ln. What we have to say? We have to say to eligible to vote. Eligible to the word semicolon. You should not forget about the semicolon. Semicolon is important. Okay, so this is where this is an if statement. This is a simplest form to take the decision based on the condition. Okay, whatever the condition you have written, if this condition satisfies, then only it will execute this block of code. If not, it will not give you anything. Let me run this. Okay, run. Sorry. Again, let me run this. Run as Java application. Yeah, see, enter the age to check whether you are eligible to vote or not. Now here I will enter the age as a 5, and it's not giving anything. Okay, it's not giving anything. Let me rerun this again. Java application, and when I enter my age, okay, see it giving me the answer eligible to vote, because this condition satisfies. When the condition is true, okay, when the condition is true, then only it will execute the whatever the block which is inside that code. Okay, whatever the code which is inside this block, it will execute that code. Now this is about the if statement. Now we will see whatever the condition. This is an important. Okay, whatever the condition you are using in this block, okay, it must return true or false. Okay, it must return the output in the boolean only. Boolean is nothing but true or false. If the condition gives only true or false, then only this, okay, this if statement works. This if statement works. This based on the output of the condition it will run. If the condition is only true, then only it will execute this block of code. Then only it execute this block of code. And here, let me write it out here. key point is nothing but the condition must return true or false. Okay, whatever the condition you are taking in that block, okay, in the condition it has to return true or false. That is about the if statement. Now come to the if else statement. Okay, in the if statement you have only one outcome. Okay, based on that condition you will get only one output which is in that block. But here in the if else statement, when there are two possible outcomes, okay, when there are two possible outcomes, like when you in the exams we are when the marks are above 35, the teachers will grade us as a pass. If the marks are below 35, they will grade us as a false. So here we have two possible outcomes. Okay, here we have two possible outcomes. One block, okay, one block runs if the condition is true, and another block runs when if it is false. Okay, you understand? Like if else statement is nothing but when there are, okay, when there are two possible outcomes. Okay, and there are two possible outcomes. One block, one block runs if the condition, okay, if the condition is true. Another will run if it is false. Okay, if it is false. If else statement is nothing but in the if statement it will run only one block, but here when you want to run the two blocks based on when you have the two outcomes, possibly two outcomes, okay, you can use a if else statement. Like here I will write my syntax. Okay, so the syntax for this is same as an if. Okay, and here we will place a if condition. Okay, if condition and one block. Okay, whatever the block you want to run, when the condition is true, then it will run this block. Okay, this is a true block. We will call it as true block. Okay, when the condition is true, then it will run this true block. And when here else, and this is another block. Okay, this is another block which is nothing but a false block. Okay, which is nothing but a false block. Now see, we are taking the if, okay, then we are placing one condition here. Okay, then we are placing one condition based on this condition output. Okay, based on this condition output, it will execute what code, okay, which block of the code it has to execute. When the condition is true, then it will execute the true block code. When the condition is false, okay, when the condition is false, which means nothing but here it will come the code else part. Okay, then in the else it will execute the false block. Okay, with the example here I will explain one example. Okay, now we have a clip, right? So there is a file. See here, now what we will do, we will take the marks. Okay, enter the, let me, okay, let me enter the marks. Okay, based on this marks we need to send the data like your pass or your fail. Okay, and here I want to, okay, here I want marks, I want to keep the condition as if the marks, okay, if the marks are greater than or equals to 35. Okay, if the marks are greater than or equals to 35, equals to 35, we need to say as you are passed, or else I can say you are passed, you are passed. Now if the marks are below 35, okay, what below 35 means the condition is false, and it will execute the else part. Okay, this is an else part, then it will execute this else part. Control C. Okay, you are failed. Now, when here in the previous program, when I enter the age to check whether when I enter the 5, okay, it doesn't give me any message to me. Means it has only one block, which is nothing but if the condition is true only, then it will execute. Okay, if the here itself when I enter 25, the condition is true, then it execute the eligible to vote. It gives a message. But in the case of 5, when my age is 5, it didn't give me any response. Okay, now but in the case of if you have any two outcomes, here also in the previous program also you can use the else, and you can say you're not eligible to vote when you are entered the age below the 18. But here we have taken the marks. Okay, let me run this program. Okay, run as Java application. I'm entering the marks as some 24. Okay, 24. Here the 24 is not greater than 35, or it is also not equals to 35. So here the condition will be, false. So this if statement will run only if the condition is here the output. Okay, here the condition output is false. So what block it will execute? It will execute the false block statement. False block. Okay, this is a false block, right? So you are failed. When I click on here enter, see it execute, it's giving me you are failed message. Okay, because this is a true block, the condition, if the condition is true, then only it will give you the you are pass. Here the condition is false, so it executing the false block statements. Okay, see if you want to execute both the statements, you can't do it, but ensure only one block is executed out of this two. Okay, that is also key point in this. And next we will go to the if else if. Okay, here we have right if else if ladder. Okay, if else if ladder. If else if ladder is used to check multiple conditions sequentially. Okay, the first true conditions block and executed. Okay, then after that we will check like I think within the previous classes uh, I done a small program for the grading systems. Okay, so here we can use that if else if. Okay, if else if ladder statements. Now, okay, if else if ladder statements is nothing but use it to check. Okay, use it to check multiple conditions. Multiple conditions sequentially. Multiple sequentially. The first true condition blocks executed, and it will come out. Let me give you the syntax first. Okay, here the syntax will be if condition 1 here. Okay, condition number 1, and then this is a block 1. Take it as a block 1, and else. Okay, here we have if else and if and another condition. Okay, here we are taking the two conditions but sequentially. If this condition is false, then it will come to this else part, and again it will check the condition. Okay, and again it will check the condition if it is true or not. If it fails the outcome of this condition, if the statement, okay, if the output of this condition is false, then it will execute the else part. Okay, here we are checking the two conditions, not the conditions in the previous. See in this previous if else and if, here we are checking only one condition. Okay, here we are checking the one condition, but in the case of if else if, we are checking the multiple conditions. First we are checking one condition which is not true. Okay, if it is true, then it will execute the block 1 code. Okay, if it is not true, again it comes to the else part, and it will check for the second condition. If it is true, it will execute the block 2 code. Okay, if it is false, it will go to the else part, and this is a default block. Okay, if both the conditions get false, it will execute the default block. Okay, now we will do some example for this also, if else ladder, how it works, by taking the previous example itself, like when the grade. Okay, we have done the grade example, right? So here itself, let me enter the marks itself. Okay, now see, here I have taken the marks input dot next end, and here I given one condition. Here I have given the one condition, which is nothing but I have to give the grade for that subject. Okay, if the marks are greater than or equals to 90. Okay, if the marks are greater than or equals to 90, I want to give the grade A. Okay, we need to give the grade A. Now again, if the marks are below 90, okay, it is also not equals to 90. Those are below 90. But if marks are like between like 90 to 75, we need to give another grade. So for that condition, I'm using marks greater than or equals to 75. Okay, then we need to give the grade B. Grade B. See, it will check first condition. Okay, it will check first condition, and then only it will comes to the second condition. Here what it will check whether the marks are above 90 or equals to 90. If the marks are not above the 90, then only it will come to the else part, and it check whether whatever the marks was entered within the range of 75. Okay, within the range of 75. If those marks are above 95 or equals to 75. Okay, here the marks are greater than 75 or equals to 75. If the marks are not equals to 75 or which are below the 75, then again it will go to the else, and here we can place one more condition, and the marks are greater than or equals to 60. Okay, now I will give the 60. Again one condition. Okay, now again what we want to do, we want to print it as a grade C. Okay, grade C. Now here we are done with the 60. Now when I got the marks below 60, okay, when I got the marks below 60, I want to execute the default block, which is nothing but, okay, system dot out dot print ln, and I will take the grade. No, I will leave it by default as a form. Right. Okay. Now see here. This is an if else if ladder. It will check first condition. Here we have multiple conditions. Okay, here the first condition is greater than 90, second condition is 75, third condition is 60. Okay, but sequentially we are checking these multiple conditions, like whether his marks are 90 or equals to 90 or below 75. So based on the multiple conditions, we are giving what type of a code we want to execute. Okay, let me run this program again. Run as Java application, and here I will enter my marks as a 98. It is giving me the grade 8. Okay, I will rerun this again, and I will give the marks as 43. It giving me the fail. Okay, so based on this condition, so it will execute what type of code or which block of code you want to execute. Okay, the most important point is it will evaluate it from top to bottom itself. It not goes to bottom to top. It will execute for the first condition, and then second condition, and then third condition. If doesn't satisfy the first condition, then it will go to the second condition, then the third conditions. Okay, stops when the first true condition is found. Okay, when this condition is true, then it will come out of this if statements. It will not execute all these three statements. When the condition is here, the condition is true, it will give you the only the grade A. It will execute only this block of a code, and it will neglect all the three blocks of this code. Okay, that is a key point for this evaluated from the top to bottom, and if the first statement is the first condition is true, okay, then only it will execute that block of code and it will come out of that statements. And next we have the nested if statement. Nested if statement, which is nothing but an if statement inside another if or else block. Okay, this is nothing but same as an if statement, but inside an if statement again we will use a if statement. Like, see, I will and this is an if statement itself. Nested if statement is nothing but a if statement inside another or else block. Okay, in the else block or in the if block we are using again one if else statement. And let me give you the syntax here. First here I'm taking one condition. Okay, if condition 1, and if the condition satisfies, if the condition satisfies, then we will go inside this block, and again inside this block we are using another condition to check. Okay, another condition. So okay, this is a nested statement. Nested if statements. See, in this previous all these conditions we are checking whether this condition is true or false. Okay, if it is true it will go into the block 1, and if it is false it will go to the else part, and again it will check the condition. But here in this case, in the if condition block itself, another if condition we are using another if condition statement. So this is known as if nested if statements. Okay, now we have an example for this, like yeah, in the previous example we have taken, see here we have taken the age equals to like eligible to vote or not. Okay, what here first we are checking the age. Okay, if the age is greater than 18 then he is eligible to vote. Okay, but what if he doesn't apply for the voter card? Okay, if the user has a voter card then you can vote it. If the user doesn't have the voter card, apply for voter ID. So now see, we will do one example in the study statement. Let me share my Eclipse. Okay, let me yeah, comment out this one and see here. I will enter the age. Okay, enter the age. Now I will take that age into integer age by using the object input dot sorry, next int next int. Now what? See, first we have taken the age, and we are initially declaring one boolean like as voter ID. We are imagining like he has a voter ID. Okay, and we are giving the true for every user above the 18. We are taking we are okay, then okay. Statically, I am giving he has a voter ID. Okay, I am giving the condition as true. Now here we need to check first. So what we need to check? We need to check the age. Okay. Here I am checking the age as if the age is greater than 18 or not. Okay. If your age is 18 or not. Again, when his age is greater than 18. Okay. Again, I am taking one condition. Okay. If as voter ID. If has voter ID. Okay, previously I have given has voter ID as a true. I'm just imagining as voter ID. So here the condition is true, then it will give you the output as print ln as you can vote. You can vote. Else, okay, else system dot print ln system dot apply for a voter ID. Now, okay, Okay, now let me run this program. Let me run this program. Java application. See, first it asking the age, and I'm giving the age as 15. Okay, it doesn't give me anything because in this if statement I didn't, this condition is true only, then only it will execute this block of code. Okay, then only it will execute this block of code. But if the here the condition get false, so it doesn't give me anything. So in these conditions, if you want to give anything, you can give it as taking the part of the else, and you can print it as, you can give the user as you are not eligible to vote. You are not eligible to vote. So let me rerun this again. And as Java application, again when I enter the age as 13, see here it giving me clearly you are not eligible to vote. But let me run this again to check the nested if. And when I enter the 67 age, see you can vote. Why it giving me you can vote? Because here by default we are giving has a voter ID, but I didn't have a voter ID. Okay, I'm taking here the false condition. Let me rerun this again. Okay, Java application, and I'm entering 54. Okay, apply for voter ID. Why here the previous I'm startingly I'm giving I didn't have a voter ID, so it executing the else part in the nested if statement. Apply for the voter ID. Okay, this is about the nested if statements. And last but not the least, see here this nested statements, you can use these decisions depends on the multiple levels. If you want to like a two-factor authentication, right? So just like that, if you want to check the all the conditions within insights, okay, on multiple levels, you can use a nested if statements. And last and final, we have a switch statement. Okay, I think I will explain about this switch statement in the tomorrow class with the examples also. All the examples of the control statements and the loop statements also I will explain in the tomorrow's class. Okay. I think enough for today's class, or I can, yeah. Okay, I will explain this in this tomorrow's class. Let me stop my screen. Thank you, Asim, for today's class. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding anything, you can ping me in the WhatsApp, or you can keep the message in this chat box. Thank you, Azim. Thank you for the class.